Robertson and Stephen Brunt back with you here ringside just prior to the Jordan Clarke Kevin Neverson fight. And Jordan Clarke, his dad Chris, certainly well known in these parts. What do you remember about him as a fighter?
Well, he was a terrific fighter. He was a great Canadian, one of the best Canadian fighters of his generation, and I think a lot of people especially remember him fighting a war here and winning the Canadian welterweight championship from Clyde Gray at the Civic Center in Halifax. One of the best known names here in Canadian boxing, and we'll see if it passes through to the next generation. His son Jordan Clarke, very early in his career, but we'll see if he's got a little bit of the old man in him.
And we just saw Jordan a little bit of a weight advantage over Kevin Neverson, who came over from the Barbados along with Ricardo Blackman, and felt bad for him yesterday. He's the guy who was supposed to fight Tyson Kay, but that fight got canceled. But we're told Jordan some pretty good boxing skills as he heads down to the ring. Let's join ring announcer Cecil Wright.
The three judges at ringside are George Cormier, Chris Schofield, and Brad Jardine. At the sound of the bell, the referee for this contest is Ken Wood.
Just so you get a cup on.
And now, introducing the principals. Standing in the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing red trunks with white trim. He weighed in at 155.2 pounds.
Okay, Chris, I'm in the corner.
This boxer is an undefeated boxer. And there's a correction in the weight. He weighed in at 159 pounds. He hails out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and is fighting out of Jim's Gym in Sackville. Ladies and gentlemen, the son of a legend, Jordan Clarke! His opponent is fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 155.2 pounds. This boxer has a record of no wins and 2 defeats. He's come to fight all the way from St. James, Barbados. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to Kevin the Phoenix Neverson!
Okay, gentlemen, fighting under the rules of the Nova Scotia Boxing Authority. I want you to obey my commands at all times. I want you to protect yourselves at all times. Questions? Okay, touch them up, come out at the bell.
So Jordan Clarke in his second professional bout, his first pro bout here at a card last June the 9th as he defeated Winnipeg's Patrick Tessier. He won that in a unanimous decision. And again, that local connection. I spoke with him yesterday. I said, do you feel any pressure fighting in front of your home crowd? He said a little bit. You don't want to come out and not fight well in front of all your friends and family. So he gets underway and is a southpaw, as you see. He'll take on Kevin Neverson. Neverson, 32 years old. He last fought last September the 3rd.
He's fought twice, he's lost twice, he's been stopped twice. He's the Phoenix, I say, so perhaps he will rise from the ashes here, but he's already taken a couple of pretty good straight and left hands from Jordan Clarke.
You wonder, in those 2 bouts for Kevin Neverson, did he fight a southpaw, which can cause a problem if you haven't? Thrown a wild right there.
Well, everything he's throwing is wild right now. His feet are all over the place.
64 fights as an amateur for Jordan Clarke, a former Eastern Canadian champion. As you see, his shoelace undone, so they'll get that fixed. He's trained by Ricky Payne and his dad, Chris Clarke, out of the Sackville gym. And Chris with the maroon trunks. Neverson not looking particularly comfortable. He took a good shot there. Left to the body that time.
Yeah, that hurt him, that left hand from Clarke. A nice body shot from Clarke. Neverson's just all over the place, and he's down.
So a couple of shots to the body. Neverson would do well to get up now if he can. Referee Ken Wood will let things continue.
Yeah, Neverson does not, Dan, look that anxious to continue here, so I don't think this is going to go much farther.
Couple of lefts again by Clarke. Just going to town right now. Shot to the body that time. And again. Just measuring him right now. Clarke's hit him in that spot in the left ribs about 5 times now with the right hand. And that should be pretty close to being it.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
He's staying down.
So Jordan Clarke gets his second professional win with a knockout of Kevin Neverson in round 1 as he gets a slap on the back from his father Chris. And credit Kevin Neverson for making the trip over here, but he just never did seem to look comfortable from the outset of this fight.
No, he didn't. He just was all over the place. He looked like a rank novice actually, and had no idea what to do with the southpaw. He kind of wildly charged Clarke a couple of times, but other than that, he was just eating shots. And you can't blame Jordan Clarke for the quality of his opposition. He went out there and did his job. He did what you're supposed to do and made short work of this guy. He did show some nice things during this very brief fight, but I think everybody who saw it understands what just took place there.
And for Chris Clarke, Kevin Neverson is basically the 5th opponent he was supposed to have. It changed that many times for him, but he said, you know, it doesn't really bother me. That happens all the time as an amateur, and you have to just worry about yourself, fight your own fight, and he certainly did against Kevin Neverson, who will drop to 0-3. So we'll get the official announcement in just a minute from in-ring announcer Cecil Wright. After this bout, we'll have Juan Sanchez versus Jonah Arbuckle. Sanchez, another local fighter. And of course, our 2 main events to follow: Andrew Sinkuner versus Jason Hayward for the vacant bantamweight title, and then Abdullah Ramadan challenging for the Canadian Light Heavyweight Championship against Jason Nogler. Does Jordan Clarke get much out of a fight like that, Steve?
Not a whole lot, really. It's good for him to get back in the ring after almost a year. It's every fight is you get some kind of experience from it. He gets the chance to fight in front of this crowd tonight. But in terms of advancing his boxing career, he's going to learn a lot more in the gym than he learned in that fight tonight. He just was fighting a guy who was reluctant and was way overmatched. That happens sometimes, especially if you bring guys from a long distance. You're just not entirely sure what you're getting.
I'm sure it's harder to find out about the quality of a fighter from the Barbados rather than, you know, another fighter in North America, as they come with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner by technical knockout at 2 minutes, 25 seconds of the first round, from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Jordan Clarke.
So a nice round of applause for Jordan Clarke, who wins by TKO in the first round. And have some highlights to show you. I guess it was one big highlight for Jordan here in round 1.
You see that kind of wild lunge from Neverson. That really was the extent of his offense.
And that really opens up, you know, a retort from Jordan, I would think.
And he did, I say, he did his job. He, you know, these are wide shots. He's winging at him here. He's not going to get away with that against a lot of opponents, but he pounded and punished the body. That's what Neverson gave him in the end. He kind of curled up and protected himself. Clarke pounded him to the body and made him quit. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective, and the next time I'm sure they'll take him up a notch in terms of who he's fighting, and Jordan will have a different kind of challenge than he had tonight.
So Jordan Clarke improves to 2-0 as a professional, and Kevin Neverson falls to 0-3. We'll take a break and remind you that still to come, Andrew Singh-Cooner versus Jason Hayward and Abdullah Ramadan. The challenge, Jason Nogler.